Good evening and welcome to Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium in Tucson, Arizona. This is the Sun Belt College Baseball Summer League featured game. Hi there, this is Alan Scott here to webcast the soon-to-start game between the Team Tucson and the old Pueblo Kings. This will be the fourth and final meeting of these two teams as we are in the stretch drive of the 2019 season. All the teams only have 4 games left. Team Tucson and the Kings have met 3 times, and the Kings hold a 2-1 advantage. The most Team Tucson can come up with tonight is to square the 4-game series at 2. Team Tucson won the first game 8-7, but dropped the following 2 games 5-4 and 15-5. And we're going to pause just a second for our national anthem. Our national anthem this evening, and we're about ready to get underway for the game between Team Tucson and the old Pueblo Kings. Just like the big leagues, nothing much changes after the All-Star break, so Team Tucson with a 3.5-game lead for 4th and final playoff spot with only 4 games to go will more than likely play the league-leading Aztecs in one semifinal game. However, with a win tonight, they will actually secure that position. Team Tucson will be working towards 3 things. One will be to even up the season series at 2-2 with a win. 2, a win will end a 4-game losing streak. And finally, they only need to win to stay out of last place, as their hold on 6th place in the league is only a half game over the Rincon Knights, a team that they play on the last day of the season. So despite this game being between lower division teams, there is still some significance. The other games on tonight's schedule are the BNL Rockets against the Rincon Knights and the Aztecs taking on the Tucson Champs. BNL, in addition to looking for a win, will be rooting for the Champs to beat the league-leading Aztecs. BNL is 2 games behind the Aztecs with just 4 games to go. Plus, the 2 teams do not meet again, so the Rockets need help from somebody else to catch the Aztecs. Right after this, I'll check out game results from both last Monday and Tuesday, look at the current standings, and get tonight's game started. But first, I'd like to ask you to hear about the Sun Belt College Baseball League sponsors and ask you to support them as they support us. We encourage you to do business with these sponsors, but even if you don't, please at least let them know that you appreciate their support of the Sun Belt College Baseball and this webcast of the games. Tonight's game is being brought to you in part by Stop and Go Driving School, Goliath Auto Sales, the Rincon Financial Group, Jimmy John's Restaurants, Best Western Tucson International Hotel and Suites, Firestone Complete Auto Care, Chewy's Mesquite Broiler at 22nd Street and Calm, Elite Sporting Goods, Pima County's Kino Sports Complex, O'Reilly Chevrolet, and by Casal Fire Protection Company. So we're about ready to get underway. On the mound, the first pitch is swung on and lifted into center, shallow center field, and it's going to drop in for a base hit. The first batter for Team Tucson was Sal Suazo, who is playing at shortstop tonight. So Sal gets things started with a base hit. First pitch swinging gets that base hit, and that will bring up number 12, one of the All-Stars in the game that was played on the 4th of July here in front of about 7,200 fans, and that is Matthew Hackman. Hackman first pitch swinging, bounds it out to second base to second for one, and unfortunately the shortstop, Angel Ferris, was unable to turn the play as the throw was just a bit offline from the second baseman, that is Philip Demas. So one out with a 4-6 out at second base, and on with the fielder's choice is Mr. Hackman. And that will bring up for the Team Tucson, Patrick McGee. McGee steps in at the top of the first inning with one out and one on. Again, first pitch swinging. I wonder if this is something that they discussed before they started the game or what, because Sal Suazo first pitch swung and got a base hit. Matthew Hackman first base swung and got on a fielder's choice, and now Patrick McGee, the extra hitter, got on with a first pitch swing, but his was fouled off for strike one. Next pitch is a called strike, and McGee is in the hole, 0-2. McGee on the season batting .387 here in the stadium. I've mentioned several times, if you've been with us before, that there is a scoring problem. The on-site scoring is doing very well, but the scoring that is accumulated is not accumulating. Next pitch outside for a ball. One ball and two strikes. Second baseman is still in sunshine and having to cover his eyes to see what's going on. Next pitch misses down low, and the count will square up at 2-2. The right fielder also is having a little bit of squinting problems, so that will continue until the sun on our left dips down behind the third base line superstructure of the stadium. McGee 2-2. Look at first, fairly decent lead at first. The runner stays, the ball is way outside, and will go to a full count. Next hitter in the lineup is Alec Acevedo. Alec also was chosen as an All-Star. We had an outstanding All-Star game. It was finished in the bottom of the seventh inning. That's all they scheduled because they didn't want to have things go too late with the fireworks and everything. Anyway, a walk-off sacrifice fly in the bottom of the seventh settled it. McGee standing in there with a 3-2 count. The runner goes. The throw down to second base is in time, not in time, and the base is stolen, but McGee took a called third strike, and that will be the second out now with the runner in scoring position. And as I mentioned, that brings up Acevedo. Acevedo here in the stadium is batting .469, and Alec is playing his usual first base tonight. Couple of outs, but a runner in scoring position. On a 3-2 count, the runner was going. McGee took a called third strike, and that recorded our second out of the top of the first inning. The ball gets away from the catcher, and that will move the runner up 90 feet from scoring position. The pitch, of course, was a ball. So a runner on third. Still first and second base defensive positions are in the sun. Now a little sliver of shade has covered the right fielder, so at least he doesn't have to dance around the sun. 1-0 pitch, inside corner for a called strike. So we're going to need to be a little slow calling balls and strikes tonight, as the home plate umpire is a little bit slow to get it up there. Now, sometimes umpires will say ball or strike right away, and then take their time letting everybody else know inside for a ball, and it goes to 2-1. Diego Bejarano is the next hitter. Bejarano is playing in left field tonight. Lots of times we see him at shortstop. Anyway, he has a healthy batting average in the stadium of .417. Hit out towards the shortstop. Couple of hops for Mr. Ferris, and he gets it over to first base, and that will be the third out of this, the top of the first inning. Nothing across, one base hit, and after a half inning of play, the score is 0 with Team Tucson coming up. The top Tucson driving school is Stop and Go Driving School. Learning to drive is not just something that you do to pass your test and get your license. You do it to make sure that you're safe on the road. Hundreds of thousands of automobile accidents happen every year, many of them fatal. With the Stop and Go Driving School expert teachers, you'll be best placed to keep yourself safe. Certified driver's education courses are available at Stop and Go Driving School. Set to go for the bottom of the first inning with nothing across in the top of the first inning. And this will be the Kings stepping up there, and it'll be Kyle Rivera. Kyle goes to Adams State University in Alamosa, Colorado. He's a graduate here in the greater Tucson area of Tucson High School, and he looks at a first pitch strike and then a second pitch ball. Next pitch misses, and we have a 2-1 count going now. Big swing on a low pitch and a 2-2 count. Acevedo on first base defensively is not in a situation where he is having trouble with the sun, as it has gone behind the superstructure. We'll go to a 3-2 count to Rivera. He is the leadoff hitter here in the bottom of the first inning. Rock and fire, swung and missed, and a strikeout. So each pitcher has one strikeout to their credit here as we get through the first inning. Angel Ferris is the hitter now. Angel has been playing a fine shortstop throughout the season, and he comes in here batting .405. A little bit surprised that he wasn't tabbed as an all-star, but he was not. He is 17 for 42 here in the stadium. Last time in the stadium, he went 2 for 5, so he kind of likes the friendly confines of Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. Takes a second pitch called strike. Angel generally a very aggressive hitter. Way outside for a ball, and we'll go to 1-2. Pitcher rocks and fires outside, waved at and missed. Second strikeout. Brandon Hance is on the mound for Team Tucson, and Brandon was one of the All-Stars. The way they worked that All-Star game is each pitcher that was on the team threw one inning. This one wrapped into short left field and a base hit. The batter, number 10, was Cameron Kroger, another one of those All-Stars. So a two-out base hit, and we'll see what the old Pueblo Kings can do with it. They're 5-15 on the season, currently in sixth spot, and they'd like to erase this four-game losing streak that they're on right now. Stepping up to the plate now, Joseph Escariga. Joseph batting .294 in the stadium so far this season. And the reason I have to restrict it to the stadium was that I explained that earlier that we have had a problem with the scorekeeping system accumulating statistics. They do real fine on the information on a pitch-by-pitch basis, but they haven't put it all together. Misses outside, 2-0. As soon as we have an opportunity to, we'll check on games that are in the outlying fields. 3 games tonight on the Sun Belt schedule. Well, that looked way outside to me, but it was rung up as a called strike. They have a relatively expanded strike zone, and it seems to express itself on the outside part of the plate more than anything. 2 balls and a strike to the first baseman, Joseph Escariga. Outfielders fairly well straight away and medium deep. Infield at double play depth. Third baseman is back. Runner goes. Ball is powered right at the third baseman. He misses it and throws it wild to first base. Did a nice job of scooping the ball up and then was unable to get it over to first base in a proper fashion. And so that will record an error. So Kroger gets a base hit, gets over to third as he was running with the pitch. So we have runners on first and on third with 2 outs here. And the batter is number 23. That's Charles Stewart. Charles plays a very nice third base, and he is registered at that position tonight. First pitch is a ball. Stewart comes into the stadium batting .344, so a base hit here would certainly help things out. A high hopper down to third base. This time an accurate throw to first, and the 5-3 out will erase the error as a problem. And third out of the inning, so nothing across for either team here in the first inning. And after one full inning of play, we have nothing on the board. Come see the difference at Goliath Auto Sales. They are the no-pressure used car dealership at 5170 North La Cholla Boulevard in Tucson. One of their customers, John, sent a letter in and was kind enough to note that it was the most painless deal I ever had buying a car. I would highly recommend Goliath Auto Sales. For value pricing affordable vehicles, make sure that you check out Goliath Auto Sales. To the top of the second inning with nothing on the board here, we have Diego Bejarano as the leadoff hitter for Team Tucson. He will be followed by Alex Phillips. And then in the hole in this inning will be Luis Morales. First pitch hit out towards left field. Cameron Kroger can't handle it, and it'll turn into a double. Don't know whether he lost it in the lights or the sun. Well, the sun is the other direction. So Bejarano is on as a leadoff hitter here in the top of the second inning with a leadoff double. Let's see if they give any kind of an error. They do, in fact, give an error. So we need to amend that to a base hit and then an error on the left fielder. Left fielder is Cameron Kroger tonight for the Kings. To the plate inside for a ball. This is Alex Phillips. Comes into the ballpark here batting .316. Alex is playing right field tonight, and he was another one of the All-Stars that participated in a great 4th of July game inside for a second ball. And that is a 2-0 count with first base open. Runner on second, nobody out here in the top of the second inning. To the plate, way inside. So it goes 3 balls. And this is one position that a young pitcher needs to be careful of. You don't want to give in to the hitter, so you're going to be throwing something that you hope will throw him off, because first base is open and losing him will not be a crisis. Outside corner for a called strike. As I said, we've got 2 other games going on, and we'll give you some information about those as soon as we get some communication from the South Fields. Down low for a ball, and that will be a walk, the first walk given up here. Travis Cole is on the mound for the old Pueblo Kings. And stepping in is the third baseman, Luis Morales. Off-speed pitch catches that outside part of the plate for a first pitch strike. Pretty much mandatory right now with 2 on and nobody out here in the top of the second inning. Morales in the stadium here with a hefty .356 batting average. He is 15 for 28 in his appearances at the stadium. And in the last 2 appearances, he is 6 for 10, 2 for 4 in the most recent game, and 4 for 6 in the game before that. So a dangerous hitter on a roll here. Holds up on a pitch. And they say the ball is outside of the strike zone. Asked the base umpire if he had gone around, and they said no. In the top of the second inning, the Tucson Champs are up 1-0 over the league-leading Aztecs. Long look at second, comes to the plate way inside. Almost kneecapped him. 2 balls and a strike. On deck hitter, Aaron Gardner, who also has an above .300 batting average here in the stadium. Cole taking a lot of time on the mound. Off-speed pitch outside, waved at by Morales. That's another thing that's very hard to teach a young baseball player, is that when there's something on that outside corner, for goodness sakes, don't try to pull it. Just stick the bat out and poke it into right field. A lot easier said than done. Outside corner called strike out looking. I was just going to mention that our sun fields are no longer a problem as the sun has dipped down behind the superstructure along third baseline in Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. Aaron Gardner stepping in. Aaron batting .313 in the stadium in his appearances here. Down low, nice stop by the catcher for a ball. Couple of strikeouts and a walk for Cole on the mound through this point. Hasn't given up anything. Outside for a ball. Does have a runner in scoring position, actually 2 on and 1 out here on the top of the second. They have the lights on here, but they haven't taken over yet. This one lifted high to right field. Runner tags at second base and will go to third. The follow-up runner on first decides, nah, not going to try it. So a fly out to the right fielder. Second out of the inning. But the runner on second, Diego Bejarano, who got there with a base hit and then an error on the left fielder, has moved around to third now. Runners on first and third, 2 outs, and the hitter is Kino Kalamayan, .250 hitter in the stadium. Kino is playing second base tonight for the Team Tucson gang. First pitch to him is a called strike. Just by body language, you can kind of tell that he did not necessarily agree. But certainly that is not mandatory. It is the fellow in blue up there and what he's saying that counts. So Kalamayan is behind 0-1. Cole looks Alex Phillips back to the bag at first base. Phillips with a marginal lead at the moment. Gets a little bit more and stays at first base. The pitch is inside, and the count goes even at 1-1. On deck hitter is Mikey Geraldo, who is the designated hitter tonight, and he has enjoyed his appearances at Kino Stadium as he is batting .474. The runner goes to second. The ball gets away from the catcher and rolls out front, and the count will go to 2-1. No chance to get him at second. So we have runners now, 2 of them in scoring position, second and third, a couple of outs. 2-1 is the count on the hitter, Kalamayan. Curveball hit down to shortstop. Angel Ferris up with it and over to first base. And despite the fact of a walk, a hit, and an error in the inning, nobody is hurt. So in the top of the second inning, we have nothing across. And after 1.5, it is Team Tucson 0, Old Pueblo Kings also 0. Rincon Financial Group is a Tucson organization that understands that individuals face unique challenges as they prepare for retirement. The Rincon Group is standing by to take the mystery out of preparing for today and tomorrow. What goal do you have? Retirement preparation, college savings, estate strategy maybe? Well, the personalized services of the Rincon Financial Group is ready to focus on your needs, wants, and financial goals. The Rincon Financial Group. On our way to the bottom of the second inning, big swing at the first pitch and coming up missing on it. Leading things off for the Kings is the second baseman, Demas. Philip Demas struggling a bit here in his at-bats at the stadium. Philip is only batting 125. Second pitch to him, a ball. This one swung on and hit high to right field. And gathering it in is the right fielder, and that will be the first out of this, the bottom of the second inning. So Demas makes the first out, and the next hitter, number 27, also one of the All-Stars in that game on the 4th of July, Jake Lialos. Jake having his problems with the stick here in the stadium. Looks at the first pitch as a ball. He's only batting .222. Now, I'll mention again, that's really not fair to these hitters because they could be hitting a ton in the south fields called strike 1-1. As we are shopping around even as we speak for another scorekeeping electronics, big swing and a miss, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Team Tucson gave up a run, or rather a base hit in the first inning. And the second inning here, the next pitch is outside, and the count evens at 2-2. That one's a called strike, and that will be the end of that for Mr. Lialos. Takes a called third strike, second out of the inning. Only 8 pitches thrown, and that will bring up the right fielder, Jonah Lawton. Lawton on the season here in the stadium, .222. Outside for a ball. Fourth time that the first pitch has been a ball here in the 8 batters, so he's pretty even. This one lifted off to the left side and just inside the dugout on the home field side, the old Pueblo Kings, so it's a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Brandon Hance on the mound for the Team Tucson gang tonight. He's got 1 strikeout. Actually 3 now that I look at it. This one to left center field, and it'll get down. Matthew Hackman over to gather it in. So a 2-out base hit puts a runner on first base. And Hance with 3 strikeouts already was rolling right along there until that particular at-bat. Keenan Graff is the catcher tonight, and he steps in there. He has not gotten a base hit in the stadium. 0 for 2, 0 for 1, and 0 for 1 in his last 3 appearances. Pitched way outside as Hance kind of brought his delivery arm across his body. And for the 3rd batter in a row, he has not gotten the first pitch strike in. Just misses outside for a ball. And 2-0 goes the count. Misses again, and it'll go 3-0. Second time he's gone to a 3-ball count. Leadoff hitter in the first inning, Kyle Rivera, got him to 3-0, and then 2-2, and then 3-2, and then struck out swinging. The on-deck hitter is Jack McDonald. Swinging strike. Interesting, they let him go at 3-0, so 3-1. Way outside, and that will be the first walk given up by Hance. Move a runner into scoring position, Jonah Loughton, who is an outfielder, and generally you assume that outfielders have relatively decent wheels, so any kind of a base hit into the outfield, especially with 2 outs, would score 1 for sure. Now they have courtesy runners in this league for the catcher because they don't want to take up too much time for the catcher to get his gear on. Julian Guru Harvey will be the pinch runner. And Jake McDonald is at the plate. Big swing and fouls it off at home plate. McDonald, 286 in the stadium. And he is the extra hitter tonight. If you've not been with us before, the extra hitter, you can have 10 in your lineup. Outfield, relatively shallow, as a matter of fact. Look back at second base, and McDonald at the plate says, hey, I want to step out of here and get myself loose again. This one hit out towards the second baseman, that is Keenan Kalamayan, and he gets the ball over to first base, and that will be the 10th and final batter to come up here after 2 innings. And nothing across in the bottom of the second inning. There was 1 hit, so that's 2 hits on the night for the old Pueblo Kings. And after 2 full innings of play, we are still at the 0-0 mark. Your Jimmy John's restaurant locations in and around the Tucson area know how much you care about freshness. That's why they spend hours in preparation every day just to make your sandwich quickly, efficiently, and tastily. Is there such a word? You get the freshest breads, all natural meats, and hand-sliced veggies every time. Stop by the store or order online if it's easier for you. JimmyJohns.com. To the top of the third inning, still nothing on the board for either team. First pitch inside to number 17 for the team Tucson, and that is Greg McQuillan. Greg is batting .400 here in the stadium. Then we'll go to the top of the order to Sal Suazo, and the third hitter this inning scheduled is Matthew Hackman. Hit down towards third and foul, so the count will go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the batter number 17, Greg McQuillan, he's had a couple of 1-for-2 nights here in the stadium. So he has been consistent, albeit I think comes in as a pinch hitter most of the time. Pitch fouled off, and we'll go to the 5th pitch of the at-bat. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody on, top of the third inning, nobody across. Team Tucson at bat, they're 10-9 on the season, and they're fourth in our standings. Their last game they lost. This one swung on and missed, so that will be strikeout number 3 for Travis Cole. First out of the inning to the top of the order, Sal Suazo. He got a base hit, but then on a fielder's choice was thrown out at second base, something that started out as a possible double play, but a little bit of a wide throw. This one bounced out to the second baseman, kind of short hops it and gets it over to first base. So that will be the second out of the inning. Second base, Philip Demas. So with a couple outs and nobody on, go to Matthew Hackman. He got on that fielder's choice in the first inning. Pitch just misses inside for a ball. Matthew in the stadium, 423 this year. This one hit down towards first. Nice first hop grab, and that will be a quick 1-2-3 inning. Joseph Escariga gets the unassisted put out. And a grand total of what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pitches in the inning. Well, I tell you what, that'll preserve your arm a long way. Nothing across in the top of the third. And after 2.5, nobody got nothing anywhere. The Best Western Tucson International Hotel and Suites features spacious guest rooms and 2-room suites with an upscale contemporary decor. Guest room amenities include complimentary internet, refrigerator, coffee maker, and in-room safe. Watch premium cable channels on a 42-inch flat-screen HD TV. Many rooms have patio doors opening out to a tranquil courtyard. A best place to stay. Best Western Tucson International Airport Hotel and Suites. Kyle Rivera will lead it off here in the third inning. And first pitch swinging, sky highs it towards the first base side. And the out is gathered in on the pop-up. Rivera had led off the game with a swinging strikeout, and he leads off the third inning with popping one way up in the air as Joseph Escarilla grabbed a hold of it. Alex Acevedo got a hold of it, and that will bring up Angel Ferris. Ferris was a strikeout victim in the first inning. One of 3 strikeout victims here. First pitch to him is a ball. Angel comes into the stadium tonight batting .405. That'll dip down just a skosh. Kind of an off-speed pitch, floated high. Travis Cole doesn't get it. And 2 balls and no strikes. Way outside for a ball. And the count goes to 3-0. Second time in the ball game that Cole has gone 3-0. On the knees for a called strike, 3-1. Last time that Cole went 3-1, he walked Keenan Graff, fouled off to the screen, so this will go 3-2. 3-2 count on Rivera in the top of the first. He struck him out. As I mentioned, Angel struck out swinging in the first inning. Second of 3 strikeouts so far from Cole. Just misses outside. And that will be the second walk given up by Cole. So 1 out base runner, and that'll bring up Cameron Kroger. Kroger got a base hit to left field, and the left fielder had a hard time handling it. So the runner advanced on the error. Moved to first. Fairly decent move. Not sure you want to show a base runner that good a move to start off with. You want to kind of lure him into a false sense of security. First pitch swinging through the 5.5 hole where Tony Gwynn used to earn his living. That 5.5 hole is between third and short. So with 2 outs, we have a couple of guys on here. Angel Ferris over to second base, and that'll bring up Joseph Escariga. Joseph got on an error by the third baseman. Luis Morales over at third base did a really fine job of grabbing the ball. And frankly, he didn't need to rush anything at all because the ball was rather hard hit. But apparently he felt he had to hustle the pitch over there. First pitch swinging and foul to the right side. Anyway, the throw went awry, and that put runners on first and third with 2 outs. But Charles Stewart, who is the on-deck hitter, grounded out. And this time, Morales grabbed the ball and threw it unerringly to first base, and that ended the first inning. Runners go. Throw down to third on a hop. Nice job by Morales to grab it to keep it from going into left field. As the catcher threw it from his knees, the pitch was a ball. So kind of a gutsy move to move things along on a double steal. However, on a double steal, sometimes it's hard for the catcher to see the second to third runner because of the right-handed hitter. This pitch outside corner for a called strike 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes. First base is open. Way outside for a ball, 2-2. Acevedo at first and Morales at third defensively are on the grass. They'll come home if the ball is hit sharply to them. Middle infielders are at double play depth. This one fouled on a pitch that was inside. Count will remain 2-2. At the set, 2-2, way outside, will go 3-2 on the count with the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Mentioned that Stewart is the on-deck hitter. Came into the ballgame batting .344 here in the stadium. Waved at on a pitch that was off the plate on the outside and a swinging strikeout. That'll be the 4th strikeout for Travis Cole, and it came at a very positive time for Travis, as now the infielders can drop back and they don't have to worry about cutting off the run at home. Charles Stewart grounded out to Morales in the first inning, and here he is with his .344, a little bit less batting average here in the stadium. First base is open, first pitch is way outside. Ferris at third and Kroger at second. 1-0 pitch in the dirt. 2-0. I think I mentioned earlier this is a time that a pitcher needs to pay attention to business because you don't want to give in. Obviously, you don't want another runner on bases, but if you put them on, it's not going to be a crisis outside for a ball. 3-0 the count. Don't have any report from the BNL Rockets and the Rincon Knights. Not sure whether there's a problem out there or what. Don't have any communications. The Aztecs in the bottom of the third have jumped up on Tucson Champs 4-1. Here we got nothing across. Pitch is a called strike. 3-1. And again, Cole needs to be careful. Don't want to give in on this. Lights are beginning to take over here at the stadium. This one, a high hopper out to shortstop. Ferris almost has it jump over his head, and a slow lobbing throw to first base because he was off balance, having to jump at the last minute. Almost gets the runner there in time, but it was a very close call, but nothing across here in the bottom of the third inning. There was one hit in the inning, so that's 3 that Cole has given up. And after 3 full innings of play, we are still tied at goose eggs. Firestone Complete Auto Care is your go-to tire shop in the greater Tucson area. Find the right tires online or in the store. There are 5 locations. Pick the one closest to you. 2400 block of North First, 3501 East Broadway, 290 West Wetmore Road, 4800 East Sunrise, or 7950 East Speedway. Anywhere that you go for Firestone Complete Auto Care, you will not, I repeat, you will not be disappointed. With nothing on the scoreboard at this point, except for a couple of hits and a couple of errors for each team, we have Patrick McGee, the third hitter in the lineup. He'll be followed by Alec Acevedo and Diego Bejarano. McGee struck out looking. This one belted foul down the right field line. Well, that was ticketed to the corner, but just foul down the right field line. Jonah Loughton got over there to take a look at it, but that was a blistering shot. And quite frankly, even if it had gone to the right field corner, because of the speed at which it was hit, it might have just been a long base hit. 0-1, high and away, 1-1. Waved out on an off-speed pitch down low, 2-1. Two and one, outside, even a 2. Okay. 2 balls and 2 strikes inside for a ball. We'll fill it up. Nobody on. Top of the 4th inning. Three-two. Hit down towards the first baseline. Grabbing it is Joseph Escarilla, and he will take an unassisted out there for the first out of the top of the 4th. Alec Acevedo grounded out to the shortstop Angel Ferris in the first inning. He's up there in the 4th now. Base hit to left field. First pitch swinging. One out, one on. Diego Bejarano, who got a base hit and went around to second base on an error, got over to third when Aaron Gardner flied out to right field, but could get no farther than that, and that was probably the closest we came to getting a score here tonight. 0-0. We're in the top of the fourth inning, and Diego stepping in. He started the evening .417 here in the stadium, so that average has gone up a little bit as Diego moves around and acts like he's going to bunt, pulls the bat back and gets a called strike. No bueno. Alex Acevedo at first base. Creeping in at third is Charles Stewart. And, of course, Acevedo is holding, gets away from the catcher for a ball. Keenan Graff behind the plate did a good job of blocking the ball and hustling out to keep it under control. Escariga is holding the runner at first. 1-1 count with one out. Diego Bejarano. Slow curve catches that outside corner, and we'll go to 1-2. Long, hard look at first base. Travis Cole, with 4 strikeouts and 2 walks, gives up a hit to right field. Jonah Loudon on his horse, and it goes into the bullpen for a home run. Never thought that had enough leg to get out there. He hit it off, not off the end of the bat. Oh, it bounced into the, bounced in there, so it is a double. I didn't think that it got into the bullpen as a home run, and it did not. Took a big hop and went in, hit off the warning track out there. So we've got runners on second and third with 1 out, and Alex Phillips is the batter. Phillips, the right fielder, drew a walk and then stole second in the second inning, but that's as far as he got. Nice stop by Keenan Graff outside to hang on to that ball, make sure it did not go to the backstop. The Pueblo Kings have a tendency to defensively play pretty shallow, and Jonah Lawton in right field is relatively shallow, as is Cameron Cougar in left. This one hit out towards the shortstop, Angel Ferris. Checks the runner at third and goes to first for the out. Second out of the inning. And the one thing that will accomplish is everybody gets to go back a little bit. And that will bring up Luis Morales. Morales took a called third strike in the second inning. Came into the stadium with a relatively hefty batting average of .536. That will dip down just a little bit. At the set is Cole. To the plate, just misses down low on a breaking pitch. This will be the 15th pitch of the inning, despite the fact that he's given up a couple of base hits here. Got a 2-pitch out and then a 6-pitch out. Morales up there, 1-0. First base is open. This one lifted foul to the right side. Don't think I've given the configuration of the stadium here tonight. The wind blowing at its normal left corner to right corner and relatively stiff. The flag is kind of straight out there. You can't quite see it on the left side of our screen, and kind of hard to see the flag in straightaway center. In fact, well, it's pretty dark out there, but the flag is up and out, not straight out, so it's not that windy. 1-1 pitch. This one hit into center field, and that'll score 1, possibly 2. The center fielder, Rivera, grabs it and gets it back into the infield quickly. And an RBI base hit for Luis Morales with 2 outs here in the 4th inning. That scores Acevedo from third. And it will move Diego Bejarano around to third base. So first and third, a couple of outs here. And Aaron Gardner will step in, the catcher tonight for Team Tucson. Aaron in the the second inning flew out to right field on the knees inside corner for a called strike. The left fielder Cameron Kroger has moved back just a little bit, but still rather shallow and right is Jonah Lawton. And straight away, well, rather shallow is Kyle Rivera. This pitch knocked into the stands on the right side. 340 down each foul line. Straight away left and right 375. The gaps are 390 and straight away is 405. We got a 1-bounce double. That's how the run came around to score. Outside for a ball. Kind of a murmur from the Pueblo Kings dugout. They thought maybe that should have been rung up, but it was not. 1-2. Long, hard look at first base by Travis Cole and to the plate. Inside, nice job by Keenan Graff moving his feet to get over there and keep that ball from going to the backstop. 2-2 is the count. So Cole does not necessarily want to get a 3-2 count because that'll get the first baseman, the runner on first, going. Big swing and a strikeout. So in a tough spot, Travis Cole gets his 5th strikeout of the game and leaves a couple on, but one is across. And in the 3.5 innings that we've seen so far, it is Team Tucson 1 and the old Pueblo Kings nothing. When you want some really good Tex-Mex cuisine, go to Chewy's Mesquite Broiler at East 22nd and Kalb. Chewy's knows what Southwestern tastes are all about, and they're there to satisfy. Chewy's at 22nd Street is open until 10 on weeknights and Sundays, till 11 on Fridays, and until midnight on Saturdays. Enjoy the food, the funky decor, and drinks at Chewy's at East 22nd Street and Kalb. Going to the bottom of the 4th inning, we'll see positions 6, 7, and 8 in the lineup. Philip Demas, the second baseman, Jake Lalos, the designated hitter, and Jonah Lawton, the right fielder. Lawton is the only one of the 3 that have a base hit. First pitch to Demas outside for a ball. Brandon Haas on the mound. Comes 1-0. This one popped up on the right side. Might get into no man's land, but over there is Alex Phillips, the right fielder, to grab it and mark the first out of the bottom of the 4th inning. Jake Lalos, the designated hitter, struck out looking in the 2nd inning. One of 3 strikeouts, actually 4 now, accounted for by Brandon Haas as he rocks and deals. Off-speed pitch catches that inside corner for a called strike. This one lifted on the right side. It's going to stay in play, but it's in no man's land. Nobody can get there to it. And as Alex Acevedo hit the warning track, he went down. Doesn't look like he is hurt or anything else like that, but the ball, as I mentioned, fell right in between Calamayan, the second baseman, Alex Phillips, the right fielder, and Acevedo, the first baseman. So it's a strike, 0-2 with one out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Swung on and missed, so a second strikeout for Jake Lalos. 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth, and that will bring up Jonah Loughton. Loughton got a 2-out base hit in the second. That was followed up by a walk by Keenan Graff that moved Loughton over to second base. But a ground out to the second baseman by Jake McDonald ended the inning and the threat. First pitch, a ball. One 0 pitch. Corner, called strike, outside, 1-1. Infield of Luis Morales at third. Sal Ciazo at short. Kino Calamayan at second. Big pitch swinging. Over at first, Alex Acevedo behind the plate, Aaron Gardner. The outfield, Diego Bejarano. Matthew Hackman in center and Alex Phillips in right with Brandon Haas on the mound. And he plunks a batter. So a first batter hit here for Haas. And with 2 outs, we'll have a runner on first, and Keenan Graff, the catcher, steps up there. Keenan has yet to get a base hit here in the stadium. Once again, I will make comment that our cumulative stats, which would include games on the south fields, have not been accumulated. First pitch around to bunt with 2 outs. Well, whatever. Morales was deep at third, and so I guess that Graff figured that he could drop one down and beat it out. 0-1 outside for a ball, 1-1. Keenan from Eastern Arizona University, a graduate out of Benson, knocks it between first and second into right field. Coming up with it is Alex Phillips, and he hits the cutoff man to hold the runner at second. You don't have to hit them hard, you just have to hit them where they ain't. That is the fourth base hit given up by Haas here so far, and will put a runner in scoring position. And that will bring up Jake McDonald, the extra hitter. And it will necessitate, apparently, a visit to the mound. So we will be back here in a second. I've mentioned several times that we cannot pick up the music that is played in here because they say that even though the stadium has paid the rights fees for music, that we have not. And since we're not part and parcel of each other, according to YouTube, they will deny access if we have some copyrighted material on. So I'll be back in a minute. Stepping up is Jack McDonald. He is the extra hitter. First pitch he looks at is a ball. Conference over with on the mound, and Brandon Haas is still out there. There is no activity in the bullpen for Team Tucson. Down the right field line, McDonald from Southwestern University. Second pitch is a ball. Coming into this inning, Haas has thrown 66 pitches, which is not an outlandish amount. However, it's a fair amount. Outside for another ball, 3-0. So walk him here, and that'll load him up with 2 outs. McDonald, a graduate of Catalina High School in 2018. Three and 0 drops down low, and this will be the second walk along with a hit batter in this inning. So that moves Loughton over to third. The batter that got a base hit, Keenan Graff, will go over to second. Actually, it's a courtesy runner for him as the Keenan is the catcher, and they don't want to have the catchers taking a long time to get things underway. And we'll go to the top of the order. Kyle Rivera, center fielder. First pitch swinging and lifts it into the stands on the right side. Acevedo over to take a look at it, but it is about 5 rows back. Kyle Rivera, as I mentioned, goes to Adams State University, and that is in Alamosa, Colorado. I find it interesting the number of players from warm and sunny southern Arizona. Slow curve catches the inside corner for a called strike, and Kyle is behind 0-2. He struck out swinging in the first inning and popped up to the catcher Gardner in the third. 0-2. This one lifted high to center field and shallow. Taking a couple of steps back was Matthew Hackman, but he suddenly determined that the ball was in front of him, and he moves forward and makes the out. So that is the third out of the inning. Nothing across here in the bottom of the inning. And as we go to a complete 4 innings here, the score is Team Tucson 1 and the Old Pueblo Kings still to get on the board. Elite Sporting Goods is a store specializing in equipment and uniforms for not only sports but school, and they also do company printing. They have a full range of services, including silk screening, embroidery, heat press custom printing, banners, and more. Elite Sporting Goods is over there at South Campbell at 3640. Stop by, call, or find them on the web. Elite Sporting Goods. Top of the 5th inning with Team Tucson up to bat. They have a 1-run lead, 1-0. Still on the mound, Travis Cole for the Old Pueblo Kings, and the first batter will be the second baseman, Kino Kalamayan. He grounded out to the shortstop, Angel Ferris. That was in the second inning. First pitch, a called strike at the knees. Infield of Charles Stewart, Angel Ferris, Philip Demas, and Joseph Escariga at first base. Next pitch is another called strike. And so Kino finds himself behind 0-2. The outfield for the Kings, Kroger in left, Rivera in center, and Loughton in right. Travis Cole in the driver's seat, 0-2 here. Pitch is lifted high to the right side. Escariga over to get it. Looked like a major league pop-up there. This is, in fact, a AAA stadium and was the major league training home for several major league teams, the Diamondbacks, the Chicago White Sox, Cleveland Indians, and I believe the Colorado Rockies at one time did their spring training here. But then the greater Phoenix area got a little greedy, and they built stadiums and made deals. First pitch inside to Greg McQuillan. Greg is the designated hitter. He struck out swinging in the third inning. Came into the stadium with over 400 batting average. Greg has committed to the University of Arizona, inside corner for a called strike. He graduated from El Toro High School in the Lake Forest area. I'm just wondering if his family, inside ball, just wondering if his family might not be a military family, because the Lake Forest area and El Toro area, military. 2 balls and a strike, 1 out here. Thought about it, held up, and the count will go to 3-1. Nobody on. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Team Tucson at bat right now, trying to move up. They have stayed right around that 500 mark, winning half of their games. Right now they're 10-9. Can't seem to get out of that midpoint there. Big swing and a miss, so we'll go to 3-2 now. Apparently Graff thought that was a third strike. 3-1, son, 3-1. Now 3-2. Travis Cole, the starting pitcher, rocks and comes to the plate. This one bounded out towards Charles Stewart. He grabs it, throws low to first, and it's an error. Escariga tried to get it on the short hop and succeeded in nothing more than batting the ball out towards second base. And that will be the second error credited against the old Pueblo Kings. The first one was an outfield error in the second inning. So that'll bring up the top of the order. Sal Suazo, the shortstop, got a base hit in the first inning and grounded out to Demas at second. Big swing and doesn't get it. Looked like a big beach ball coming up there, and Sal went after it. But the bottom dropped out of it, throw to first not in time. So Greg McQuillan over at first base on an error with 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. Not much of a lead at first. Inside, almost nips him at the belt. Does a nice U to get out of the way. Appreciate you being there this evening. Realize a Monday night, lots of things going on, so don't have a full house here in the stands or on the air, but that's all right. Thanks for being around. Down low, Graff does a nice job of keeping the ball in front of him and holding the runner McQuillan at first base. Home plate umpire dusts things off a little bit, as when Graff went after the ball, it's like he took a shovel full of dirt in his glove and spread it all over home plate. 2 balls and a strike, still not much of a lead at first base. Runner stays there, another one inside, and Suazo nimbly dances out of the way. 3-1. Loughton in right field is playing relatively shallow. The other outfielders are pretty much straight away. The runner goes and the ball is fouled off to the right side. So 3-1, they had a hit and run on. But Sal lifts it into the stands along the right field side. We do have some activity in the Team Tucson bullpen. Try to pick up who we have out there, but just as I do that, he goes and sits down. Well, Matthew Hackman is the on-deck hitter. 3-2, waves at a pitch outside, not particularly happy with himself. And he will go and sit down. 1 for 3 on the night. Second out of the inning, and Matthew Hackman, who got on a fielder's choice and got around to third base on a stolen base and a passed ball. That was with 1 out, but unfortunately after that, next 2 hitters were out, and that ended that in the first inning. We didn't have any score through the first 3. Top of the 4th inning, Team Tucson, the club at bat right now, pushed 1 across, and that's what the score is, 1-0. Inside for a ball. Patrick McGee is the on-deck hitter. Hackman got on a fielder's choice in the first and grounded out unassisted to Joseph Escariga at first base. That happened in the third. Now Loughton has gone back a little bit deeper to the left-handed hitter, and the pitch is a ball, 2-0. Kroger in left field has swung over towards the line just a little bit, but straight away is Kyle Rivera in center field. Infield is back with the exception of Escariga holding the runner at first. Fouled off at the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. Hackman, an all-star this year, one of the several players in the league that plays for Pima Community College. He's a 2017 graduate of Empire High School in the Vale District. And Mr. Hackman was a Christmas baby, December 25th. Outside corner just catches it, and the count will go to 2-2. Had a stepdaughter that was born on the 26th of December, and so that she didn't get all of her presents at one time, Christmas and then birthday, we used to celebrate June 26th as her half birthday. Just misses inside. You could tell that Cole was a little upset at that, started to walk off, but you got to come back and throw 3 strikes. It's 3-2. That means that McQuillan at first base will be on his horse here with the movement towards the plate, and the runner goes. This one hit right back up through the middle, but Angel Ferris was playing just a couple of steps to the left side of the second base bag, and I don't know who put him there, whether he got there himself or whether he was told by a coach to get over there, but he could not have been in a better position to make the third out of the inning. And nothing across here in the top of the 5th inning. And after 4.5 innings of play, it's Team Tucson 1 and the old Pueblo Kings nothing. Yes, it's called Kino Sports Complex, but it's much more than just sports. Director Maureen Ochoa and her great crew have successfully staged trade shows, corporate meetings, conferences, fundraising events, and private parties in and around the Kino Stadium site. So whether it's a sports activity or something else, give the Kino Sports Complex a call to find out how convenient and successful your event can be right here at the Kino Sports Complex. Angel Ferris will step in and have a go here. Nothing across in the top of the 5th inning. So the old Pueblo Kings have a run to make up. First pitch swinging and lifted high to left field. Deep going back is Diego Bejarano, and he comes up with it right at the warning track out there. And once again, a ball carried incredibly far compared to what it sounded like off the bat. Diego Bejarano kept going back and back and back and wound up taking that ball right at the warning track. And that has to do with the very, very light air here in Tucson, Arizona, because of the high temperatures. First pitch to the second hitter, Cameron Kroger, who has 2 base hits in the ball game tonight, is a swinging strike. Outside, Kroger had a notion and stayed off of it. Currently 91 degrees here in Tucson. I do not believe today it broke the 100-degree mark, although they say that it got up awfully close. Next pitch swung on and missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We've been in triple digits, but today was a relatively mild day for this area in this time. Off-speed pitch misses outside, and we'll run it out to 2-2. Two, way outside, 3-2. Kroger came into the ball game batting .313 here in the stadium, and obviously that will go up as he has 2 hits outside for a ball, and that will be the 3rd walk given up by Haas. Haas coming into the inning, 71 pitches, and they have had players warming up out in the bullpen for Team Tucson, so we'll see if this might not be the last inning for Haas. Joseph Escariga, the first baseman, is up there. He struck out swinging in the 3rd inning and got on an error in the 1st. 1 out, 1 on, big swing, and fouls it off at the plate. Escariga plays his college ball at New Mexico Highlands University. Throw to first and doesn't get there in time. He's a 2015 graduate of Sunnyside High School. Runner goes. Throw down to second base. High to the wrong side, but they got him anyway. Nice job by Calamayan as the 2-4 pitch and catch winds up with the second out. The ball was kind of to the left field side of the bag, and Calamayan grabbed it and spun around the other way and caught the sliding Kroger for the out. 2 outs now. 1-1 pitch way outside and waved at and missed by Escariga. And it'll go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, maybe with an easy inning here for Brandon Haas, it might extend his appearance at the mound tonight. 2-2 outside. Charles Stewart, the next hitter. 2 outs and nobody on here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1-0 in favor of Team Tucson, way outside. And for the second hitter in a row, Haas goes to 3-2. At the set, coming to the plate on the outside corner for a called strike. So that is the 5th strikeout turned in by Haas, and his easy inning here might have set it up where he does not come out in the next inning. 84 pitches through 5 innings, not too bad. He's gotten 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, and has hit a batter. And here we go into the 5th inning, bottom of the 5th inning, and Haas has only given up 4 hits, so he's doing very well tonight. Cazal has been a leader in all aspects of fire protection since 1982. Cazal Fire Protection serves both home and business locations by providing design, planning, and management of your fire protection needs. Cazal has an extensive knowledge in fire protection, and works hard to keep their fine reputation. Look online to find Casal Fire Protection, first in quality, serving with pride. Travis Cole out on the mound for the old Pueblo Kings for this, his sixth inning of work. 79 pitches through 5 innings and has given up 5 hits, 1 run. At the plate will be 3, 4, and 5. This is Patrick McGee. McGee grounded out unassisted to the first baseman Escaliga. That was in the 4th inning and struck out looking in the 1st inning. First pitch to him outside for a ball. Some activity out in the old Pueblo Kings bullpen. Almost got nicked with that one, got out of the way, 2-1. The activity in Team Tucson's bullpen has ceased, and in the Kings bullpen, they're just kind of standing around out there. So we'll see how things go here. 2-0, fouled off at the plate and back to the screen. 2 balls and 1 strike. Rocks and fires, 2-1, fouled off at the plate. 2-2. McGee is one of several players in the league going to Laguna Community College. That is in Las Vegas, New Mexico. He is a graduate of Walden Grove High School in Sajarito. Looking at a 2-2 count, nobody on and nobody out here in the top of the 6th inning. Foul down the right side. And we'll come back and try it again at 2-2. Cole with 5 strikeouts, couple of walks, and a couple of errors behind him. But through 5 and plus innings here, he's given up only 5 hits and 1 run. That occurred in the 4th inning. A base hit and then a ground rule double, and then an RBI single got the run across. Outside for a ball, 3-2. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Cole set 3-2 to the plate. This one lifted to center field. Kyle Rivera coming on strong for it and grabs it for the out. Shallow center field, 1 out, top of the 6th. Alec Acevedo was the gentleman that got the base hit, and on a ball that they thought certainly would have scored him, it took a high hop off the warning track and bounced into the bullpen out in right field, so he had to hold up at third. That put runners at 2nd and 3rd. Then there was an infield out. Nice job by Angel Ferris looking the runner back as Alex Acevedo takes a ball inside. But then Luis Morales got up and got an RBI single, and that's the difference in the ball game, 1-0 at this point. 1-0 pitch. Backs Acevedo up, but the slow-moving curve just caught the inside corner, and the count goes to 1-1. Still not sure what's going on with the BNL Rockets and the Rincon Knights. Game scheduled out on one of the south fields, 2-1 the count on Acevedo. In the other game, top of the sixth inning, it is the Aztecs 4-1 over Tucson Champs. The Champs got off to a 1-0 lead, but have since surrendered it. This one way inside. And for the second hitter in a row, Travis Cole has gone to 3-ball count. He went to 3-2 and got a flyout. 3-1 is the count now. Misses outside. And a walk. Third walk of the game given up by Cole. And that will bring up Diego Bejarano. And we will have a little discussion here to see if we need to make a change. And once again, don't want to have the music showing up to get copyrighted, so they'll go to silence. Okay, umpire out to break it up, and Travis Cole will stay in the ball game. Have another Kings player heading down to the bullpen in left field. That is Julian Garu Harvey. Now, he is an outfielder. We don't have him listed as being on the mound, so apparently he's out there to catch the other player. So we'll try to get a number when we get a chance to. Diego Bejarano, 2 base hits, a single, and that was in the second inning, and a ground rule double that came up in the fourth inning. First pitch to him is a called strike. Alex Phillips is the on-deck hitter. He is 0 for 1, got a walk in the second inning, but grounded out to Ferris at shortstop in the fourth. Runner on first. Nice job by Keenan Graff to get outside and grab that ball before it skirted its way back to the backstop. That's the one big difference for catchers. The south fields have very, very short backstops. Here in the main stadium, lots of room back there, so the catchers have to be extra alert. 1-1 count. Hit to left field and foul. Not by a whole lot. Of course, whenever you have a opposite field hitter, for instance, a left-handed hitter, and hits it into left field, the ball is curving towards the foul line, and that's what adjusted it from possibly getting into the corner for a base hit and a double and maybe a run scored to slicing off into foul territory. The opposite is true, of course. With a right-handed hitter hitting it to right field, it spins towards the foul line. Down low, swung on, and missed. And Bejarano may have made up his mind last Wednesday he was going to swing at that one. And he is muttering to himself all the way back to the dugout. Second out of the inning, and Alex Phillips. Phillips came into the ball game batting .316 here in the stadium. A walk and a stolen base got him to second, but 3 consecutive outs after that, and that's where he rested and stayed. 2 outs, top of the sixth inning. Inside for a ball to Alec. Alex is playing right field tonight. We'll see how they handle Acevedo at first, the runner at first. Not sure what his speed index is, and like I said, we don't have cumulative stats up there. Called strikes, so I don't know if he has stolen bases or not. The right fielder, Jonah Lawton, relatively shallow in right field, as is Cameron Kruger in left field. Kyle Rivera kind of halfway back. Floats high for a ball, gets above the letters. 2 balls and 1 strike. We're in the top of the sixth inning, a runner on first and a couple of outs. Team Tucson at bat enjoying a 1-0 lead. That one they pushed across in the fourth. We're in the top of the sixth. On the knees for a called strike, Dosi. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Be cooler if it was the top of the second, but it is not. It is the top of the sixth. So we would not have four of a kind. Once a poker player, always a poker player. Sorry about that. 2-2 is the count. At the knees for a called strike looking. And that will be the sixth and seventh strikeout that Travis Cole has recorded here in the ball game. Nothing across in the top of the sixth. And we go to the bottom of the sixth inning with Team Tucson still clinging to a 1-0 lead. How does this sound at O'Reilly Chevrolet? Newer car, lower payments. O'Reilly Chevrolet has car financing experts who can do just that for you. What can you lose? Just call O'Reilly Chevrolet and see what they can do for you. Or, hey, here's a better idea. Stop by O'Reilly Chevrolet at 6160 East Broadway and find out firsthand. O'Reilly Chevrolet, the good folks that know how to provide the best in sales, service, and financing. Hance comes to the mound. Brandon Hance on the mound all the way so far for the Team Tucson. Wheels and deals. First pitch to Charles Stewart is fouled off. Back to the screen. 0-1. Charles grounded out to third and grounded out to short. Here in the bottom of the sixth inning with the old Pueblo Kings trying to get something going. Second pitch swinging and a miss. 0-2. The Kings have lost 4 in a row. Certainly do wonders for their psyche as they go through the last 4 games of the season to get a win here. And Charles Stewart strikes out swinging. Almost looked like he wasn't ready to see the pitch there. Was behind it, and the first out in the bottom of the sixth inning is recorded. And that will bring up Philip Dumas. Dumas with his struggles here at the bat in the stadium, only 125 coming in, and he's 0 for 2. Pitch to him is a big swing and a miss. He has flown out twice to right field to Alex Phillips out there. 0-1 pitch on the way outside, 1-1. Hance has 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, and a hit batter. Has given up zilch tonight, only 4 hits. Second pitch or third pitch to Demas is a ball, 2-1. Nobody on here in the bottom of the sixth. This one lifted to right field once again. This time it's driving Phillips back, and it will bounce over the wall and into the right field bullpen. Boy, that dirt must be very, very hard out there on the warning track, because that's the second ball that has bounced off the dirt and gone into the bullpen for a ground rule double. Jake Lialos will be the next hitter. Jake has taken the donut tonight. 0 for 2, struck out twice, and it looks like we're going to get a pitching change here, and we will come back after they accomplish that. It appears that the new pitcher will come in, will be Riley Squires, but we'll check on that in a minute. Jake Lialos will step in there. He struck out twice, so one of the 5 strikeouts for Hance. We have a runner on second base with 1 out. And the new pitcher, Riley Squires. First pitch is a called strike on Lialos. Riley Squires just graduated recently in May, as a matter of fact, from Sabino High School, as graduated seniors are eligible in this league. Look back at second base a second time. Pitch outside corner for a called strike. And Lialos, who does a lot of catching here for the old Pueblo Kings, is behind 0-2. Now the runner out on second is the responsibility of Hance, as he went 6 1/3 innings here. Actually 5 1/3. Pitch misses. Opportunity for the old Pueblo Kings to get a run here and tie things up. Fouled off to the screen on the right side. Count remains 1-2. Jonah Lawton is the on-deck hitter. Jonah has a base hit and was hit by a pitch, so he's been on both times. He is in the 8th spot in the lineup. Lialos is in the 7th spot. 1 out, runner goes to third. The throw down to third. Got him. So took a chance that something might be cooking there. The pitch was a ball, but a good strong throw by Aaron Gardner got him at third base for the second out. So the Kings, trying to break a 4-game losing streak, lose out on an opportunity with a runner on third base. Now the bottom of the order is coming up, and Jake and Jonah and Keenan Graff have not that many hits amongst themselves, so that ball is a high ball for 3-2 count. Relief pitcher Riley Squires came in with 1 out, and after a double given up by the starter Hance, this one fouled into the stands on the right side, so the 8th pitch of the at-bat will be coming up with a 3-2 count. Nobody on. A couple of outs here now in the bottom of the 6th inning, as the Kings rolled the dice, figuring they had nothing to lose, and came up losing a runner. Big swing and a miss. So literally 3 up and 3 down. Only 3 hitters came to bat here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and nothing across. So after 6 full innings of play, it is Team Tucson 1 and the old Pueblo Kings continuing with zilch. The top Tucson driving school is Stop and Go Driving School. Learning to drive is not just something you do to get your license passed and get your license, test passed and get your license. You do it to make sure that you're safe on the road, because hundreds of thousands of automobile accidents happen every year, many of them fatal. Now, with the Stop and Go Driving School expert teachers, you'll be best placed to keep yourself safe. Certified driver education courses are available at Stop and Go Driving School. Travis Cole will come out again to pitch the top of the seventh without regard to the fact that he's thrown 99 pitches so far. Luis Morales will be the batter, followed by Aaron Gardner and Kino Kalamayan. Luis has a base hit, an RBI single, hit down to third. Stewart kind of mishandles it, but grabs it and gets the ball over to first base for the first out of the top of the seventh inning. Aaron Gardner will step in now. Gardner's 0 for 2. He flew out to right field to Jonah Lawton in the second inning and then struck out swinging for the last out of the fourth inning. Cole has 7 strikeouts so far, 3 walks. So Gardner, one of the strikeout victims, a little bit of a late swing and a missed ball for a strike. Gardner goes to Kansas Wesleyan. He is one of 3 players in the league that goes to Kansas Wesleyan. That is in Salina, Kansas. Next pitch is fouled off, and right away, Aaron, who is an all-star selection, is behind 0-2. He is a graduate of Rincon High School in 2018, so he will be going into his sophomore year at Kansas Wesleyan. Pitch outside for a ball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. One ball and 2 strikes. Outfield pretty much straight away. Infield back on the grass and catches that outside corner for a looking strikeout. Second strikeout in a row for Gardner, and the 8th on the evening for Travis Cole, the starting pitcher, who has now gone over 100 pitches. They may have left him in the lineup because he was going to be facing 7, 8, and 9. Kino Kalamayan, the second baseman, steps in there, 0 for 2. First pitch inside corner for a called strike. Kino grounded out to Ferris at short in the second, and in the 5th inning, popped up on the right side in foul territory to Joseph Escarilla. This one is popped up to shallow center field. Everybody's converging on it, and they grab it. So the center fielder, Kyle Rivera, got a good jump to come a long way to be able to grab that kind of pop up into center field. So 3 up, 3 down, and nothing across here in the top of the 7th inning. And after 6.5 innings of play, our score is Team Tucson 1 and the Kings nothing. Come see the difference at Goliath Auto Sales. They are the no-pressure used car dealership at 5170 North La Cholla Boulevard in Tucson, Arizona. Now, one of their recent customers, John of Tucson, was kind enough to write in and say that it was the most painless deal I ever had buying a car. I would highly recommend Goliath Auto Sales. For value pricing and affordable vehicles, make sure that you check out Goliath Auto Sales. Riley Squires, the relief pitcher here for Team Tucson, will be starting his second inning of work. First pitch will be to a pinch hitter, Isaac Montano. Montano in the stadium batting 154. And once again, not necessarily fair because he could be batting a ton out in the south fields, but our system has failed us this year. And right away, Isaac is behind 0-2. No changes in the infield here for Team Tucson. Morales at third, Suazo at short, Calamayan at second, and Acevedo over at first. The pitch inside for a ball. We are in the bottom of the seventh inning and seeing quite a pitching duel here. Only 5 hits given up to the Kings. Inside for a ball, and that will make it 2-2. The line scores for Team Tucson: 1 run, 5 hits, and 1 error. For the Kings, no runs, 5 hits, and 2 errors. Neither error actually entered into the scoring. Almost gave him a shave there. He leaned back. Fortunately, he had Burma shave on and didn't hit him. Last Burma shave signs I saw was on the way to Julian, California, up in the mountains of San Diego. Haven't seen one since. High and away, and after getting off to an 0-2 count, Riley Squires gives up his first walk to the leadoff hitter here in the 7th inning. And the catcher will step in, Keenan Graff. Graff base hit his last time up and walked back in the 2nd inning. His last time up was in the 4th. Let's see if they try to lay one down. Third baseman Morales is kind of sneaking in a little bit as he's around to bunt, and way outside. The throw to first, they got him picked off. In the rundown now, and they get him out. So Suazo, the ball went from the catcher, Aaron Gardner, to the first baseman, Acevedo, to the shortstop, Suazo, and they get the out and damage an opportunity to get a runaround. The pitch was a ball, and very alertly, Gardner saw that Montano had gone off the base a little bit. This pitch is popped into the right field stands, 1-1. If you get your leadoff hitter on, you have a much better opportunity of getting him around to score. But unfortunately, a 2-3-6 putout for the first out, and the pitch outside here to Graff, 2-1. Two balls and a strike here. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. 1-run differential with Team Tucson leading it. This one lifted foul and off of the sunscreen just to our right, and that will even the count up at 2-2. The Kings have only gotten 5 hits tonight. They have yet to get a base hit off of Squires, although he did issue a walk and is on the verge of doing it again. 3-2 count, second time in a row that Squires has gone 3-2, actually the third time in a row. He went 3-2 to the first batter that he faced when he came in as a relief pitcher. On the knees for a called strike. Graff was on his way to first base and will be rung up looking, second out of the inning. Jake McDonald, the hitter. Late swing. Last time up, he got a walk. And before that, he grounded out to second base. Came into the ball game batting .286. That will drop down just a skosh. 0-1 pitch. High and away, 1-1. Center fielder Hackman is playing relatively shallow, as is right fielder Alex Phillips. The left fielder Bejarano back a little bit. 2-1. Left-handed hitting Jake McDonald is the extra hitter tonight. If you're with us for the first time, this league, which is kind of a semi-instructional league, to the pitch, swung on and looped into center field. And that will be base hit number 6. And that will bring up the top of the order, Kyle Rivera. And let's see, do we have, yep, letter field, number 13, Kyle Rivera. Strikeout, pop out to the catcher, and a fly out to center field. And we do have the incorrect date on our screen here. Last minute changes, got caught kind of short. First pitch is a called strike. Got the right teams on, but forgot to change the date. We'll do that post facto. Action out in the right field bullpen for Team Tucson. And once again, unable to get a number. Big swing and a miss. And Rivera, who is 0 for 3 tonight, has dropped behind 0-2. Rivera coming into the stadium batting .286. That has gone down. Outside, misses for a ball, 1-2. At the set. Comes to the plate. Fouled off to the right side. That was kind of a save my at-bat swing. One ball, 2 strikes. 5th pitch of the at-bat. Big swing and comes up with air. And that is going to be the second strikeout for Squires, actually the third, 2 of them in this inning, and nothing comes across in the bottom of the 7th inning, and that will limit the Kings to just 2 more at-bats as they try to overcome a 7 full inning deficit of 1-0. Rincon Financial Group is a Tucson organization that understands that individuals face unique challenges as they prepare for retirement. The Rincon Group is standing by to take the mystery out of preparing for today and tomorrow. What goal do you have? Retirement preparation, college savings, maybe estate strategy? Well, the personalized services of Rincon Financial Group is standing ready to focus on your needs, wants, and financial goals. Well, Travis Cole continues to be on the mound. 106 pitches through 7 innings. First pitch to the pinch hitter, Dylan Moran, is outside for a ball. Dylan, one of the several players that we have here in the league from Pima Community College. This one hit off the end of the bat, and it's going to be a tough play for Charles Stewart, and he will not be able to make it. That was just cued off of the end of the bat and had a really wild spin to it as well. So as soon as it hit the grass on its way out to third base, it just kind of laid there. And a leadoff runner is on for the Team Tucson gang as they're trying to expand their 1-0 lead. And we will come to the top of the order, Sal Suazo. Suazo 1 for 3, got a base hit in the first inning. Since that time, he's been shut out, a ground ball to second in the third. This one lifted to center field, coming on strong and making an outstanding catch is Kyle Rivera. Boy, he got a great first step jump and a line drive out to the center fielder Rivera, and that should make the ESPN top 10. Of course, we don't quite have the quality of picture transmission to be able to pull that off, but Kyle really did himself proud by coming on strong, got a great first step, and caught that line drive diving at it in center field. Matthew Hackman threw to first, not in time. Hackman got on a fielder's choice in the first, grounded out to the first baseman Escarilla in the third inning, and on a fielder's choice in the fifth. Inside for a ball. Travis Cole on the mound coming into this inning, 106 pitches. This is his 111th. We saw a pitcher in this league go to 149 pitches. Not sure that's particularly healthy for this son. Hit hard, right field. Going back for it is Loudon. He won't get it. And for the third time in this ball game, the ball hops over the bullpen fence after hitting off what must be a rock-hard warning track out there. And quite frankly, that denied the runner at first base, Dylan Moran, an opportunity to score because there was a no-doubter about the fact that he was rounding second by the time the ball hit and went into the dugout. And it looks like we may have a change in pitchers. After the conference, we'll come right back. Well, a new pitcher on the mound for the old Pueblo Kings, Travis Cole, throwing 111 pitches and has given up 2 base hits here in the top of the 8th inning, and that will bring out Nathan Delahunty. This one lifted in the air over to third base. The third baseman and the shortstop scramble it around and drop the ball. So the runner will get to first base on what was a sure and easy pop-up to the third baseman, Charles Stewart, and he will be given the error, but Angel Ferris was right there and created a problem. Hate to say that about Angel because he's had an outstanding season, but that was not the most intelligent of plays. Alex Acevedo will come in. Acevedo is 1 for 2, and he has scored the only run for Team Tucson, as now they have the bases loaded with Nathan Delahunty on the mound. This one wrapped foul left side. Almost took off Dylan Moran's head as he had to duck underneath it, and it's 1 strike. Delahunty is one of 5 players on the Kings that go to Presentation College in the cold climes of South Dakota, Aberdeen, South Dakota to be exact. Pitch on the outside corner for a called strike, and Acevedo finds himself behind 0-2. So a miscommunication on what should have been the second out of the inning has put pressure on Stewart at third and Escariga at first. They are in on the grass. The middle infielders, Ferris and Dimas, are at double play depth, and the pitch floats outside for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Third error for the Kings tonight, and you have trouble winning when you have defense that's a problem. Outside, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The bases are jammed. Diego Bejarano, who has gotten 2 hits tonight, is the on-deck hitter. Acevedo is 1 for 2 and a walk. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Off-speed pitch pounded into the dirt by home plate and scoots off to the left side. Count will remain 2-2. Stewart, Ferris, Dimas, and Escariga on the infield. Kroger, Rivera, and Loughton in the outfield. Keenan Graff behind the plate, and the relief pitcher is Nathan Delahunty. This one hit straightaway center field. Rivera on the run, but it's going to drop, and that will count at least 1. And because it was so shallow in center field, all runners just move up 90 feet, but it is an RBI single. That scores Moran, who got on a base hit from third base, and moves everybody up. On third base now is Matthew Hackman, who got on a ground rule double, and I guess it's only fair that a very, very weak, shallow hit to center field should score a run when the double that bounced into the bullpen out there robbed them of a run. Bejarano is the batter. He has 2 hits and a strikeout tonight. First pitch he looks at is a called strike. Still jammed, first and third, Stewart and Escariga on the infield grass. The middle infielders hoping for a double play because there's 1 out. This one just foul right side. And for the second time in a row, Delahunty has the batter behind 0-2, but fell even at 2-2, had 1 fouled off and then a base hit and an RBI. Left fielder Kroger is very shallow in left field. The right fielder Loughton is fairly deep, and Rivera has come in about midway. 0-2 pitch. This one golfed out towards Ferris. Steps on second and goes to first base for a double play. So an unassisted at second base double play by Ferris, who just happened to be in the neighborhood, and over to first for a double play, and only one run comes across, despite the fact that the bases were loaded and there was only one out. But one does come home, and after 7.5 innings of play, it is Team Tucson 2 and the Old Pueblo Kings nothing. Your Jimmy John's restaurant locations in and around the Tucson area know how much you care about freshness. That's why they spend hours in preparation every day just to make your sandwich in just 30 seconds. You get the freshest breads, all natural meats, and hand-sliced veggies every time. Stop by the store, or if it's more convenient, order online at jimmyjohns.com. Well, as so often happens when a defensive player makes a good play, he comes up in the next inning, and that's exactly what's happening with Angel Ferris, who was the lead part of the double play that got Team Tucson out of the inning, or excuse me, the Old Pueblo Kings out of the inning. But they now have two to make up in two opportunities. Second pitch swinging, 0-2 for Angel. Angel is 0 for 2. He did get a walk in the third inning, but struck out in the first and flew out to left field in the fifth. We're in the bottom of the eighth inning, and 3 pitches and 1 strikeout. That will be the 4th strikeout recorded by Riley Squires, who came in the bottom of the 6th inning with 1 out and has already racked up 4 strikeouts. That's going to be the 9th strikeout of the game against the Old Pueblo Kings. Brings up the left fielder, Cameron Kroger. Kroger first pitch swinging, fouls it off to the right side. Kroger 2 for 2. He got a base hit in the first and the third. Got a walk in the 5th inning, but then was thrown out trying to steal, and what turned out to be a 1-2-3 inning because of that. This one hit right up the middle. A diving Suazo can't get it, and a 1-out base hit will put a runner on first. 3rd hit of the night for Cameron Kroger, and that brings up Joseph Escarrega. He is the first baseman. 0 for 3 tonight, got on an error in the first inning, struck out swinging in the third, and struck out looking in the fifth. So let's see if they try to bunt the runner along or if they go with the big inning. Luis Morales at third base is relatively deep. Riley Squires at the set, a look at first, and apparently no bunt is on. First pitch is outside for a strike called. Charles Stewart is the next hitter. Stewart came into the stadium batting .344, but he's gone 0 for 3 tonight, striking out his last time up. Way outside for a ball. Gardner had a thought about doing what he did earlier and throwing to first base and getting the runner. That was the leadoff runner in the 7th inning. Caught off base and out in a rundown. The balk on the pitcher, and that will move the runner over to second base. I think what happened is that Riley Squires, in his zeal to get to the plate, did not come to a full stop when he went to his half windup, and it costs him a base. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, a runner in scoring position, and outside for a ball, 2-1. This would be an excellent place for the Kings to count one. They are behind 2-0, have not scored to this point. They have this chance and one more as they are the home team. And it would behoove them to peck at least one across, this one way outside. gallant effort by Aaron Gardner, the catcher, to take that pitch that was way outside and try to sweep his glove back to make it look like it was a strike. Nice effort on Gardner's part, but he had to move his glove about 27 feet to accomplish that. This one hit into right field and foul. That would have scored the run, but with the right-handed hitter hitting to right field, the ball is slicing towards the foul line, and that's exactly what happened there. 3-2 count. Earlier in the game with one out, Philip Demas tried to steal third on a 2-1 count and was thrown out. So let's see how they play this one. 3-2. Runner stays at second. Pitch is on the corner for a called strikeout. Second looking strikeout in a row for Escariga, and the fifth strikeout for Riley Squires. He got one on the first hitter that he faced in the sixth inning, got two more strikeouts in the seventh inning, and two more now. So he has 5 strikeouts, 2 outs, and a runner at scoring position, and the catcher or the umpire goes down. Not sure exactly where he took that ball, but he went right down. And we'll have to watch and see how he is doing here, not moving a lot. Like I said, I'm not exactly sure where it caught him. The pitch to Stewart was a ball, and either the catcher, Gardner, got crossed up or it came off, and it looks like they're looking towards a trainer to come on down here and take a look at things as he is coming down, and will be out there to the field to see how the home plate umpire is doing. He is still down. It may have caught him up around the throat or just grazed off the mask. We had one of our other umpires earlier take one square on in the mask, and he was scheduled to be the home plate umpire here in the stadium right after that. And unfortunately, he decided, I'm going to work the bases because I don't need to take a second shot in the chops. So the home plate umpire is just now stirring around a little bit as one of the administrators for the Sun Belt League goes out to take a look. He is the chief of umpires here in the league. And not exactly sure how this will work out because he went down immediately. Now the base umpire is coming back under the stands, and he may go up and get his equipment on to be behind the plate as the home plate umpire is beginning to stir a little bit. And we will just need to leave it on here, not cut away for a commercial or anything else like that. Unfortunately, this evening did not get the umpire assignments relayed to me. So I think what I'm going to do, if you don't mind, is cut the mic here and walk down to the official score and see who I can pick up as the umpires here. So excuse me for a minute. I'll be back. Okay, the base umpire, who is Hemet Domley, is going back into the umpire's room to get his gear on. Ray Encinas is the home plate umpire, and we figure that he just got nicked underneath the mask. Looks like he's taking a drink down there, and we certainly hope that Ray is going to recover quickly. I'm going to assume that he's going to go out on the bases. So Hemet Domley is the guy that's going to come in behind. I think what happened is that the catcher got crossed up looking for possibly a breaking pitch, and it came high and in and got past him and just clipped the umpire. Tough business behind the plate. Catchers and umpires get whacked around pretty good, and Ray is getting to his feet here, a little unsteady albeit, and gets a round of applause from the folks in the stands here. So we will wait and see how things turn out here. I don't know if at this time I can change the information that is on the screen about the date. Well, by golly, I might just be able to do that. So we will go here and we'll put an 8 there. Might have to change it later on, but at least now it's going to be hopefully on the screen. This being a Monday evening. Boy, we did have a fine All-Star game and a great crowd here. Admittedly, the crowd is going to be as much interested in the fireworks display that happened afterwards as they are going to be. Now, Ray is kind of dabbing at his lip and still is a bit unsteady coming back here, so we're going to need to wait until we get the home plate umpire into his gear, and that will be Hemet Domley. The trainer and the umpire back behind the stands here are looking at the helmet, and I'm not exactly sure, maybe it caught him just at a right angle and slammed the helmet back into his mouth, but it certainly stung him and he went down quickly. While we're doing that, we'll kind of bring you up to date on what's happening with the Sun Belt League. We have 4 games left for each of the teams. Excuse me. And tomorrow night, it'll be the Rincon Knights against the Tucson Champs. The Rincon Knights currently 4-15, and they are in the 7th spot in our Sun Belt Summer League. The Tucson Champs are about a game and a half ahead of them in the standings. So if the Rincon Knights can come up with a win there, they'll tighten things up a little bit. The same Old Pueblo Kings, who are currently 5-15 and 11 games out of first place, will be playing the first place Aztecs. That will be out on field 4. And the Cochise Stars threatening to get close to first place, although they have a hill to climb here. They're 3 games back with only 4 to play. They will be playing Team Tucson, the team that we have currently leading 2-0 here in the bottom of the 8th, and we have had a stoppage because the home plate umpire, Ray Encinas, took one just underneath the mask, and it must have spun around and cut his lip or maybe cut the inside of his mouth with the face mask spinning around. So we are waiting for the base umpire, Hemet Domley, to put on the gear. The umpires generally bring their entire outfit for both base and behind the plate 2 games, so we're waiting for Hemet to get his gear on. Looking back at the standings right now, the Aztecs 16-4 are on top. They've won 2 in a row. And let's check and see how they're doing tonight. They were behind 1-0 in the early going, but now the bottom of the 9th inning, they are ahead 7-1, so they are on their way to win their 17th game. Now, I'm not exactly sure the circumstances, but the BNL Rockets forfeited their game tonight. Like I said, I don't know what the circumstances were, but that puts them 3 games out of first place with only 3 left after tonight. The Cochise Stars were not scheduled to play this evening, so they'll stay at 13-7. The Stars are scheduled to play Team Tucson, as I mentioned, tomorrow evening. Team Tucson, 10-9, and if they can hang in there with their 2-run lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning, they will have an 11-9 record. The Tucson Champs that will be playing the Rincon Knights here in the stadium tomorrow evening with our broadcast time, if you will, at 6:50. And the Champs are currently 7-13, but they are on the short end of the game against the Aztecs, so they will be 7-14 more than likely after this game. The Oak Pueblo Kings hanging in there tonight, but they are down by a 2-1 count. Well, let's see. I'm not exactly sure whether they're going to leave Cameron Kroger at third. When the ball got away and the umpire went down, he went over to third, and because there was no timeout called, at least initially, and so I guess he will remain at third. So that is kind of an interesting turn of events here. So we are back at it. The base umpire, Hemet Domley, this is a high hopper to shortstop, and the out goes to first base, and that is the 3rd out of the inning. So after the delay, because the umpire behind home plate was injured, the out is recorded at first base, and after 8 full innings of play, it is still Team Tucson 2 and the Kings nothing. The Best Western Tucson International Hotel and Suites features spacious guest rooms and 2-room suites with an upscale contemporary decor. Guest room amenities include complimentary internet, refrigerator, coffee maker, and in-room safe. Watch premium cable channels on the 42-inch flat-screen HD TV. Many rooms have patio doors opening to a tranquil courtyard. A best place to stay, Best Western Tucson International Hotel and Suites. So we go to the top of the 9th inning with the team at bat, Team Tucson leading 2-0. Nathan Delahunty will continue on the mound for the Old Pueblo Kings, and it will behoove them to put on a hold here so that they can try to get 2 in the 9th inning. First pitch is inside for a ball to Alex Phillips, the right fielder. Alex struck out looking the last time up, grounded out to the shortstop, and walked in the ball game. Alex, the right fielder, came into this game batting .316, 0 for 2, promptly deposits one into left field, and it's on the corner He's going to go for second. The throw coming in, and he's into second base. So a long run for Cameron Kroger to get over there and try to grab the ball. It was over close to the line and just inside or just over the third baseman's head. There is some activity in the Team Tucson bullpen as they get the first batter up. And Ray Encinas comes back out to umpire the bases. So apparently he has recovered at least enough to be on the bases, and that'll bring up Luis Morales. Luis is 1 for 3 tonight. He got the first run driven in for Team Tucson with an RBI single in the 4th inning. To the plate, runner goes to third or starts to go to third. Kino Graff came up ready to throw. The pitch is a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Luis struck out looking in the 2nd inning, got that RBI single in the 4th, and grounded out to Charles Stewart at third base in the 7th. Stewart on the baseline. Runner does go this time. The throw to third base gets away from and coming in to score Alex Phillips. So Phillips stole stole third base. The throw on a short hop was unable to be handled by Charles Stewart, and that will bring the third run home and really makes a mountain to climb for the Pueblos as the Kings give up a run here in the top of the 9th inning. The pitch was a ball. This one slapped down left side foul. A tough time to commit an error. It is the 4th error of the game for the Kings. The count to Morales, 2 balls and a strike. So 2 runs to get in the bottom of the 9th after being shut out is tough enough, let alone 3. Delahunty comes to the plate. This one left shallow right field. Coming in to get it is Loughton, and that will be a fly out to right field for the first out of the inning with nobody on. Aaron Gardner, the catcher, is the next scheduled hitter. And Gardner is 0 for 3, struck out looking in the 7th, struck out swinging in the 4th, and flew out to right field in the 2nd inning. So a double, ground rule double to lead things off here in the top of the 9th inning. On a 2-1 count, Alex Phillips took off from second base going to third. The throw was in the dirt, and Charles Stewart couldn't handle it. This one lifted high and shallow to center field. Kyle Rivera comes in and grabs it for the 2nd out of the inning. That will bring up Kino I'll get it in a second. Mayan. I washed my mouth today and can't do a thing with it. Kino is 0 for 3. Grounded out to shortstop, popped out to first base, and popped out to center field. First pitch inside corner for a called strike. Four errors for the old Pueblo Kings, and it's really tough to win, giving away 4 outs or 4 bases. This one sky high. Third baseman's call, catcher out there. They can't get it. It falls in for a base hit. Well, Charles Stewart came in. It was his call all the way, but he had to look down to see where Keenan Graff was, who had come out, and the shortstop Ferris was also in the neighborhood. And all of that aside, a base hit, second base hit of the inning, 10th of the ball game. Dylan Moran comes up. He came in as a pinch hitter in the 8th inning, got a base hit, and came around to score. on an RBI single by Alex Acevedo. 2 outs, 1 in, 1 on, wrapped to right field, going back for it and leaping up as it's just about ready to go over his head is Jonah Lawton. So a line drive out to the right fielder. That is the 3rd out of the inning. But unfortunately for the Kings and fortunately for Team Tucson, a run comes across in the top of the 9th. And after 8.5 innings of play, it is Team Tucson 3 and the old Pueblo Kings. They have nothing. Firestone Complete Auto Care is your go-to tire shop in the greater Tucson area. Find the right tires online or in-store. Now, they have 5 locations. Pick the one closest to you in the 2400 block of North First, 3501 East Broadway, 290 West Wetmore Road, 4800 block of East Sunrise, or 7950 East Speedway. Anywhere you go for Firestone Complete Auto Care, you won't be disappointed. So to try to get 3 will be 6, 7, and 8 in the order. This is Philip Demas. Demas, the second baseman's first pitch swinging, fouls it off. Next pitch outside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Way outside again, and we go to 2 balls and 1 strike. The pitcher for Team Tucson, Jose Martinez, he is committed to the University of Arizona. Big swing and a miss, and 2-2 will be the count. Jose Martinez graduated from San Miguel High School in 2017. 2-2 count to Demas. High for a ball. And we'll go to 3-2. Demas got a double in the 6th inning. Tried to steal second base. I'll get it in a second. Tried to steal third base. This one wrapped out to Suazo. And he gets it over to first. A little slow and a little low. And it hops into the stands. So that will be a 2-base throwing error for the shortstop. So Team Tucson commits their second error of the inning, or the game rather. God damn it. So runner in scoring position, so a good start here for the old Pueblo Kings, trying to make up 3 runs. Jake Lialos is the batter. He is 0 for 3 and has struck out all 3 times tonight. Love to give you numbers on Mr. Martinez, but unfortunately, we're still having that problem with the cumulative stats and the stadium stats unavailable. Pitch outside for a ball. On deck hitter is Isaac Morano. One-0 pitch. Outside, gets away from the catcher, and that will move Demas over to third. So a 2-base throwing error and a pass ball will get the runner over to third. opportunity here. Whenever you get that leadoff runner on, you've got a chance of getting some scores, but you definitely need to follow up way outside for a ball, and we'll go 3-0. Martinez coming in the bottom of the ninth inning. Will try to pick up the close and the save. Outside corner at the knees for a called strike. 3 balls and a strike. Center fielder Hackman relatively shallow. The ball is high. It's a walk. First walk given up by Martinez, the 4th of the evening by Team Tucson pitchers. They have recorded 10 strikeouts overall. And the batter will be Montano. He came in and got a walk in the 7th inning, but was caught in a rundown, swung on and missed outside corner. First pitch strike. Third baseman Luis Morales is even with the bag, as is the first baseman Alex Acevedo. Well, he's holding against the runner. The middle infielders kind of semi at double play position. If he gets hit sharply at them, they will come home, but if not, they will try to turn that double play. The pitch outside for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. Right fielder Alex Phillips is really fairly short in right field. Bejarano in left field is medium deep, but the center fielder Hackman very shallow in center. Hit sharply, left field. That'll score 1. That's going to the corner. Rounding second base is Lealeos, and he will come and held up. Getting back to third, very close, safe. So an RBI double turned in by Montano. And the old Pueblo Kings have accounted for 1. They need 2 more, but they've got runners on second and third, so an outfield base hit might just do it. New pitcher coming in, and this pitcher is Jacob Ortiz. There are runners on second and third and nobody out. The infield is in With the exception of the middle infielders, they're kind of drifting back. Why exactly that's the case, I'm not sure. Outside for a ball, the hitter is Keenan Graff, and he is the catcher. Keenan has a base hit in 3 times up to the plate, struck out looking in the 7th and got a walk in the 2nd. Around that, a base hit in the 4th. 1 ball and no strikes. High for a ball. First base is open. A hit to the outfield, unless it is very sharp, will tie this thing up as the Kings have one across here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Looks like Jacob Ortiz may have gotten something in his eye. He stepped down off the mound. Everything is all set and ready to go now. Center and right are playing relatively shallow. Left field back a bit. 2-0. Outside corner for a called strike, 2-1. It appears that Jacob Ortiz has fair velocity on the ball. An error started this thing off, then a walk, and then a double. 2-1. Big swing, missed it. A little bit late on it, 2-2. As I mentioned, Ortiz has fairly decent velocity. Runners on second and third. 2-run deficit. The Kings are trying to make up here in the bottom of the 9th inning. They got one of them back. This one fouled off to the screen. And we'll go to the 6th pitch of the at-bat. Jake Lalos being held up at third on that outfield play. Very close play at third base when he tried to get back. And he made it, so that is a huge part of this. Across the letters for a called strikeout, first out of the inning. And that will bring up Jake McDonald. McDonald, the lefty against the righty. Corner infielders, Morales and Acevedo at third and first in on the grass. And apparently, Team Tucson will concede 1 run because the middle infielders, Suazo at short and Kalamayan at second, are back on the grass to try to cut down the angle. High for a ball. McDonald is the 10th man in the order. He's the extra hitter. Came into the ballgame batting .286. He has a base hit, a walk, and a ground out. Ortiz at the set. Comes to the plate. High and away. Second time in a row that he's gone 2-0. To Graff he went 2-0. Evened it off at 2-2 and then got him looking. At the set is Ortiz. 2-0. First base is open. Outside for a ball, 3-0. Now this is where a young pitcher needs to be very, very careful. You don't want to give in to the hitter here, especially with first base open and 1 out. If you put the runner on first base, you've got a good chance at a double play that would end the inning and win the game. Outside corner for a strike. 3-1. Laileos is at third. Montano is at second base, there with a double that drove in a run. 3-1 is the score. This one misses low for a ball and a walk. They are loaded, but quite frankly, in this situation, that is not too terrible and awful, because you have a force out at all bases. And that will bring up the top of the order where we'll have a pinch hitter for Kyle Rivera. Rivera 0 for 4 and 2 strikeouts on the evening. And the pinch hitter will be number 11, Julian Garu Harvey. And we'll check some stats on him in just a second. First pitch to him outside for a ball, and that draws a groan from Team Tucson dugout. So the Pueblo Kings trying to get things back together again here. Guru Harvey only batting .211 in the stadium this year. Pitch is in the dirt and away from the catcher, and that will score one. So a wild pitch scores one. Second ball to Guru Harvey. And we are down to 1-run differential. Jake Laleos comes in on the wild pitch to the pinch hitter, number 11, Guru Harvey. The runners do move up, so we have them on second and third. Called strike. 2 balls and a strike. Once again, first base open. And the wild pitch really, really hurt. 2 balls and a strike. Sliced off to the left side, but foul. 2-2. Both runs are credited to Jose Martinez, who came in the top of the inning, put 3 batters on, and that brought out Jacob Ortiz. 3-2 the score. Runners on second and third. The infield is in. Big swing and a miss, and that will be the second out, and that is an extremely important out as far as Team Tucson is concerned, because you're able to put your fielders back at regular depth. And so let's see, they've got the manager coming out to discuss things with the pitcher, Jacob Ortiz, and he will come out, and we're going to have some shuffling here, and we'll be back to you in just a minute. All right, here's the situation. We have runners at second and third. We have 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th inning. The score is 3-2 in favor of Team Tucson, with the old Pueblo Kings trying to break a 4-game losing streak. Angel Ferris will come up there. He has been batting .405 here in the stadium this year. However, tonight he's had a rough night. Struck out swinging in the first. He did get a walk in the third. Flew out to left field in the 5th and struck out swinging in the 8th inning on an 0-2 count. First base is open. He squared around and started to bunt and bunted it foul to the right side. So with 2 outs, they were trying to catch Luis Morales napping, or Alex Acevedo. They were heading towards first base on that. And I guess they were going to try to make it where Angel Ferris, who is very fleet of foot, would outrun the players to first base and get the run across. 0-1, big swing and a miss, strike two. So for the second time in a row in his at-bats, Angel Ferris is in the hole 0-2. He struck out swinging in the 8th inning. We're in the bottom of the 9th, and the game on the line at the moment. The Kings have scored 2, but Team Tucson was ahead by 3. This one fouled off. Count will stay 0-2. Isaac Montano at third base was almost acting like he was going to try to steal home there, which would be a very unique experience here at the Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. 0-2 the count. Outside for a ball. It was just barely outside, and that drew a rise out of the Team Tucson dugout. Alex Phillips has come in to pitch. He coming in from right field with Dylan Moran going out to take his spot. So the right fielder is in there trying to close it out. 1-2. Swung on and missed, and that will do it. So quite a challenge here in the bottom of the 9th inning, but not quite enough. As the final score comes up, Team Tucson 3 and the Kings 2. Final line score on this one, as we look at it, it will be 3 runs on 10 hits and 2 errors for Team Tucson. And the old Pueblo Kings, trying to break a 4-game losing streak, come up with 2 runs on 8 hits. And unfortunately for them, they committed 4 errors tonight. Fortunately for them, none of the errors really resulted in anything negative, so they kind of dodged the bullet on that count. We had scoreless through 3, and then Team Tucson scored in the top of the 4th inning. They got a base hit and then a ground rule double that really took the wind out of the rally, because Alex Acevedo had to stop at second instead of being too easily to score. Had the ball bounced off the wall instead of bouncing into the dugout. Then Alex Phillips, who just closed it out on the mound, grounded out to second, check that to shortstop, with Angel Ferris doing a fine job of grabbing the ball, looking the runner back to third, and getting the out at first. But with 2 outs, Luis Morales stepped in and got an RBI single, and that's the way it stayed until the 8th inning. In the 8th inning, Team Tucson scored again. They led off the inning with a base hit, a line out to center field on a fine catch by Kyle Rivera, but then a ground rule double, an error at third base, and an RBI single, and that put another run. Then in the top of the 9th inning, a leadoff double by Alex Phillips, then 2 flyouts in a row. But after that, the runner at third took off. Check that. The runner at second took off for third. That was Phillips. And the ensuing throw down to the third baseman was low and hopped into left field. Phillips got up from his slide and came home with the 3rd run. And, boy, that was a big difference there, because the Kings did come up with 2 in the bottom of the 9th. It started off with a throwing error, a 2-base error, then a walk, an RBI double scored 1, a strikeout, a walk, and then a wild pitch scored the 2nd one. Things ended up with runners on 2nd and 3rd, but fortunately for the Team Tucson team, they got 2 strikeouts, one against the pinch hitter Guru Harvey, and the other one against Angel Ferris, to close it out, and the final score 3-2. That will do it from the stadium here. Let's check real quick out on the fields. The B&L Rockets apparently forfeited their game against the Rincon Knights, and that really kind of messes up their situation from the standpoint they were only 2 games out of first place, and now they are 3 with just 3 to go. The Aztecs, the team leading the league, came up with a final 7-1 win over the Tucson champs, so their record will go to 17-4, and they are 3 games ahead with just 3 to go, and that apparently will pretty much ensure that they finish in first. However, the Cochise Stars, who were off tonight, still have 4 games to go. One of those games is against the Aztecs and the other against BNL. So the Cochise Stars have an outside chance of getting into first place. Team Tucson, with their victory tonight, come away with an 11-9 record, and they remain 4.5 games now out of first place, but they have expanded their lead over the Tucson champs, who lost tonight. So the champs will be 10 games back, while the Team Tucson will only be 4.5, so they're a 5.5 game lead, and that secures the 4th and final playoff spot for Team Tucson. The only thing that is kind of up in the air will be the Old Pueblo Kings with their loss tonight, and the Rincon Knights win will put the Rincon Knights by a half game into 6th place, and that drops the Old Pueblo Kings down into the 7th spot. Well, as I mentioned, that does it from Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. The final line score tonight, Team Tucson with 3 runs, 10 hits, and 2 errors, and the Old Pueblo Kings 2 runs, 8 hits, and 4 errors, and the winner is the Team Tucson group, the visiting team tonight. That does it from Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. This is Alan Scott saying good night.